number of people accounted for now stands at 136, with 150 unaccounted for. The number of confirmed deaths is 11.
As rescuers dug through the wreckage of a collapsed Florida condo building on Monday in the desperate hope of finding survivors, questions about what caused the building to fall grew more intense. The death toll from the fall climbed to 11 on Monday, when first responders removed 2 remains from the scene, according to Miami-Dade Mayor Daniella Levine Cava, who updated the number of deaths from 10 at an afternoon press conference. 4 people were rescued from the ruins of the Champlain Towers South on Sunday. According to Levine Cava, 150 individuals are still missing. Among the shock and sadness caused by the disaster, some indications regarding its potential origins are beginning to surface. Damage to the basement garage had become considerably worse since an inspection less than 3 years earlier, according to an April letter from the building's condo association president, and deterioration of the building's concrete was accelerating. According to the letter acquired by USA Today, the projected cost of the repair has risen from $9 million to more than $15 million. An October 2018 study from the engineering company Morabito Consultants warned of significant structural concerns at the Surfside high-rise, but a month later, a municipal building official assured board members the tower was in very good shape, according to meeting minutes released Monday. Rosno Ross Prieto, a Surfside official, was cited as saying those things during a condo board meeting on November 15, 2018. Surfside authorities posted a slew of documents to the town's website over the weekend, including one from Morabito warning of severe structural damage and the possibility of exponential damage. The conversation with Prieto, who no longer works at Surfside and could not be reached for comment Monday, occurred when Champlain Towers began to investigate what work would be required under city and county laws for the building to fulfill a 40-year recertification deadline in 2021. In a news conference early Monday, town authorities and fire personnel reiterated that first responders were still engaged in a search and rescue effort. "They're out there with whatever resource they need to search this region," Levine Cava said. Assistant Chief Ray Jadala of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue said personnel had spotted other gaps in the rubble where inhabitants may be found, but there was no proof anybody was inside. Crews were also listening for sounds coming from the rubble, but none of them could be classified as human-made, he added. According to Jadala, the decision to shift from search and rescue to recovery cannot be taken until personnel are sure that no one is alive in any portion of the wreckage. It is not based on a single little part since it has been entirely demolished. "We must examine the entire pile," he stated. "We just aren't there yet." The Champlain Towers South, which was erected in 1981 just north of Miami Beach, fell on Thursday. The middle of the wing crumples in the video before the opposite end falls. President Biden is in favor of the probe. President Joe Biden, according to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, believes an inquiry into the Champlain Towers South collapse should be initiated. During a news conference on Monday, Psaki was asked if Biden thought the federal government should investigate the infrastructure failures that contributed to the disaster. "He believes that an inquiry should be conducted," Psaki responded. "Certainly, we want to play whatever positive role we can with government resources in getting to the bottom of it and preventing it from occurring again." She stated that agents from federal agencies such as the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Institutes of Standards and Technology had been dispatched to Florida to assist with these efforts. According to Psaki, Biden has been informed on the situation by a FEMA administrator. A federal agency will undertake a thorough investigation. An investigation into what caused the Champlain Towers South collapse has already begun, according to officials at a news conference on Monday afternoon. Governor Ron DeSantis said he met with members of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which will investigate the causes of the collapse. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, was established in the aftermath of the 9/11 terrorist attacks and has investigated that incident as well as others such as the 2003 Rhode Island nightclub fire, the 2011 tornado in Joplin, Missouri, and Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico in 2017. They've never done a straight building collapse that wasn't linked with risks or acts of terrorism, DeSantis added. This is going to be something major, and it's going to be extremely comprehensive. It will take a very long time. That is the type of horizon on which they function. DeSantis stated that more rapid investigations undertaken by Miami-Dade County and the town of Surfside might provide some insight more swiftly, and he hinted at the potential of state regulatory changes if such evaluations were found to be required. If there are things that need to be done at the state level, DeSantis added, we definitely would want to obtain information as quickly as possible. The mayor of Surfside describes a youngster praying at the location. Surfside on Monday, Mayor Charles Burkett recalled a conversation he had with a girl who was waiting for word on one of her parents, who was inside the building at the time of the collapse. Burkett said he had previously seen the 11 or 12-year-old child at the location with one of her parents, but she was discovered by herself on Sunday night. What she was saying was that she was reading a Jewish prayer to herself while sitting near where one of her parents was likely. And that really hit home for me. She wasn't sobbing. She was simply disoriented, he stated. At least 35 Jewish persons are missing, including those with Israeli citizenship, according to Maher Elbaz Starinsky, Israel's consul general in Miami. Over the weekend, Israeli search and rescue teams were also on the scene. DeSantis stated that the Israeli authorities who inspected the scene stated that the Miami fire personnel followed the same standards as the Israeli team. Families of the lost visit the collapse site. A rescuer falls 25 feet. Family members of those still missing were given a private tour of the area on Sunday afternoon. Around 100 family members inspected the site, which has been hampered by electrical fires and floods. On Monday, relatives continued to pay their respects, monitoring the rescue attempt from outside a neighboring building. Uncertainty regarding the fate of loved ones causes dread and frustration, according to catastrophe specialists, and is one of the reasons why corpse identification becomes so important. Authorities have started analyzing the DNA of survivors and family members in order to compile a database that may be used to identify remains more swiftly. According to specialists, samples from close relatives are the quickest and simplest to match. The time it takes is just so terrible, said Julie French, a former DNA scientist with the Michigan State Police who now works for the quick DNA testing firm Andy. This gives closure to the bereaved family as soon as possible. During the family visit on Sunday, one rescue worker slid 25 feet into the mountain of rubble, emphasizing the dangers personnel face, according to Daniella. We're discussing pulverized concrete. We're discussing steel. There is always a reaction to every action, he stated. We're digging through concrete debris the size of basketballs and baseballs. Inspection records detail major structural damage over the garage, requiring at least $9 million in repairs. According to documents published late Friday, experts highlighted design problems and poor waterproofing less than 3 years before the collapse, which might lead to exponential damage. On October 8, 2018, a letter to the condominium association's treasurer included pages of proposed repairs. Failure to restore the waterproofing in the near future would cause the amount of the concrete damage to increase exponentially. One warned of failing waterproofing creating severe structural damage on a concrete slab over a garage. The author cautioned that the design was flawed, that replacing it would be difficult, and that it was a systemic problem. More Surfside documents. Inspection records for a collapsed apartment in Miami-Dade County detail major structural damage above the garage. According to the papers, repairs were projected to cost at least $9 million. According to emails revealed by Surfside authorities, the then vice president of the condominium association forwarded the report, which included details on the slab and broken concrete, to a town building official as early as November 13, 2018. According to Greg Schlesinger, a Fort Lauderdale general contractor and attorney who has handled building defect cases, the flaws mentioned in that report might suggest that there were more undiscovered concerns. It appears that inspectors were unable to check structural features in other areas of the structure, according to Schlesinger. There were most likely comparable water issues elsewhere. However, more than a dozen specialists who talked with USA Today could not agree on the reason of the fall. Some blamed rising sea levels and the corrosive impact of seawater brought on by increasing tides. Others questioned the stability of the ground under them, as well as issues like as faulty construction or insufficient monitoring. The names of the victims of the disaster have been revealed. Antonio Lozano, 83, and Gladys Lozano, 79, a married couple preparing to celebrate their 59th wedding anniversary, were among those murdered in the catastrophe. The couple, both Cuban immigrants, had supper with their son, Sergio Lozano, just hours before the fall, according to WPLG-TV in Miami. If there's any consolation in their deaths, it's knowing they died together and went fast, he added. Residents Manuel Lafont, 54, Stacy Fang, 54, Leon Alukovic, 80, and his wife, Cristina Beatriz de Alukovic, 74, and Luis Bermudez, 26, and his mother, Ana Ortiz, 46, have also been recognized. The missing? More than 150 individuals are still missing as a result of the Miami building collapse. Here's what we know thus far. Handler, Fang's teenage son, was saved by a neighboring homeowner, Nicholas Balboa, who was walking his dog near the buildings when he heard his screams. Adriana Lafont, Lafont's ex-wife, told the USA Today network that Lafont was asleep when the building collapsed. The debris, according to the 42-year-old lady, resembled a battle zone. I almost died when I saw that, Lafont remarked in Spanish. It seemed like those walls had fallen on me as well. Many South Americans and members of Surfside's Jewish community were among those who went missing. One of JetBlue's flight attendants was among those reported missing on Sunday. A doctor, a teacher, and a yoga instructor were also missing. Champlain Towers North residents are concerned about the building's safety. A virtually identical condo complex stands just north of Champlain Towers South, and homeowners have been wondering if their houses are secure, according to Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett. He claims that Champlain Towers North is essentially the identical structure in nearly every manner to the one that fell. Built by the same contractor, around the same period, using the same central plans, and most likely using the same materials. The building did not appear to be harmed when the structure to the south fell, but Burkett said occupants who choose to escape will have services available. It's terrifying, said 55-year-old resident Bud Thomas. I'm hoping it doesn't have the same structural issues as the previous one. Elizabeth Weiss, Kyle Bagenstis, Trevor Hughes, Eleanor Aspigran, Aaron Mansfield, Alessu Bajak, Christine Fernando, John Bizignano, Hannah Morse, and Ramina Ruiz Guariana. If you liked this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you get notified every single time a new video goes live.